So let's talk about AI coding tools. This whole space is moving at, a truly dizzying pace. You've got new players popping up, all these hitting costs nobody talks about, and this high-stakes competition going on behind the scenes. So how in the world do you make the right choice for you or your team? Well, let's break it down.
You've got to admit, the promise is incredibly compelling, right? The whole idea is that these tools take on the grunt work, all that repetitive boilerplate stuff, so that engineers can focus on what really matters. Building great software. But with so many options out there, the real question is, which tools actually deliver on that promise?
Okay, first up, let's get real. What do these tools actually do? And who are the key players you really need to know about right now?
And what's so fascinating when you look at the landscape is the diversity. It's not one size fits all anymore. You've got assistants like Tabnine and Copilot that just plug right into your current setup. Then you have entirely new AI-first editors like Cursor, which are built from the ground up for AI. And then you have these autonomous agents like Claude Code that can actually execute tasks all on their own. So let's put two of the big ones head-to-head. You've got GitHub Copilot, which, if your team is already living in the GitHub ecosystem, is kind of the logical choice. It can literally pick up an issue and open a pull request for you. Tabnine, on the other hand, is built for big companies where privacy is absolutely non-negotiable. It offers air-gapped deployments, which means it can run completely disconnected from the internet. Your code never leaves your private network.
Then you have the real power players. Cursor is a whole code editor designed around AI. It has this whole repository awareness, which makes it brilliant for big refactoring jobs across huge interconnected code bases. But Claude Code, that's a different beast entirely. It operates right in your terminal, and it acts like an autonomous agent for senior engineers who need really reliable, complex tasks done for them.
And this is the crucial point, right? These tools are about so much more than just auto-completing a line of code. They're actually changing how we onboard new engineers, how we prototype ideas, and even how we tackle those tedious but vital jobs like writing tests and documentation. They're designed to handle all that repetitive work, which frees up us humans for higher-level thinking.
But choosing a tool isn't just about the features. No. Behind these Flick interfaces, there is a fierce, all-out battle for dominance being waged by the giants of tech. And you have to understand this part. The AI coding assistant you choose, it's really just a front end, a pretty face for a massive language model. So your choice is effectively a bet on an entire ecosystem, OpenAI's, Google's, or Anthropic's. And this intense competition is exactly what's driving the incredible pace of innovation we're seeing.
And just look at this scorecard. It shows you just how tight this race is. As of late 2025, there is no single clear winner. Google's Gemini 3 has a massive 2 million token context window. That means it can understand gigantic code bases. Meanwhile, Anthropic's Claude Opus 4.5 is the undisputed king when it comes to raw coding quality. Each one of them holds a different crown.
And really, nothing shows the sheer intensity of this war better than what happened with the Code Red incident. In November 2025, Google's Gemini 3 leapfrogged OpenAI's model. OpenAI immediately declared an internal state of emergency, a Code Red. And in just 3 weeks, they mobilized everything and shipped a brand new model, GPT 5.2, just to reclaim ground. That's the speed we're dealing with here.
So instead of thinking about one winner, it's way more helpful to look at their strategic positions. OpenAI, they still dominate consumer mindshare. Google has this unparalleled advantage with its infrastructure and its massive ecosystem. And Anthropic, well, they've successfully carved out a niche as the trusted, safe choice for the enterprise.
Okay, now for the part the sales pitches often gloss over. Let's talk about the true cost of actually adopting these tools.
$20 a month. We've all seen it, right? It's the simple, appealing price for tools like ChatGPT Plus. But that number, it's dangerously misleading.
Because the reality is a lot more like an iceberg. That $20 license fee you pay, that's just the tiny little tip you can see above the water. The vast majority of the real cost, the integration, the data prep, the operational overhead, it's all hidden below the surface.
Yeah, just let that sink in for a second. For any serious enterprise rollout, the sticker price of the tool itself is only about a quarter of what you'll actually spend to get it working and delivering real value. The other 70 to 80% is completely hidden. So where is all that other money going? Well, as you can see here, the single biggest expense is almost always data preparation, getting all your internal data clean, formatted, and ready for an AI model. This is the part everyone underestimates. Then you have all the engineering work to integrate the AI. plus testing, plus just managing the change with your teams. And this gets really crazy when you start using these models through their APIs. For the exact same chatbot application, if you choose an efficient model like Gemini Flash, it might cost you just $12 a month. But running that same app on a premium model like GPT-5, that could be over $1,000. Your choice of model has these massive order of magnitude cost implications when you scale up.
Okay, we've covered the tools, the tech war, and the true costs. So let's get practical. How should you and your team actually make a decision?
Here's a simple 4-step framework you can use. First, ecosystem fit. Does it actually integrate smoothly with the tools you already use? Second, language coverage. Does it support your team's programming stack? Third, and this one is crucial, privacy and IP. Where does your code go? And finally, fourth, true cost. What is the total cost of ownership beyond that simple monthly fee?
And hey, to make it even simpler, here's some quick recommendations. If your team lives and breathes GitHub, just get Copilot. It's a no-brainer. If you're in a regulated industry like finance or healthcare, Tabnine privacy is essential. If you need the absolute best-in-class autonomous results, you should look at Claude. And for quick prototyping without any setup, Replit is fantastic.
Finally, here's maybe the most important piece of advice for introducing any of these tools. Don't go all in at once. Start with a small pilot program. Give the tool to one team, set some clear guidelines, and then measure everything. Productivity, code quality, developer satisfaction. You need to let that real-world data, not the marketing hype, guide your decision on whether to expand.
And that really brings us to our final thought. The promise of AI in coding is absolutely real, and it is transformative. But being successful isn't about picking the tool with the best benchmark score. It's about being prepared for that other 70% of the work, the integration, the data prep, the change management, all the stuff that never makes it into the sales brochure.